Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. I have with me, as usual, Don. It was another good game, Gujarat versus Rajasthan Royals. Gujarat actually a scoop up, winning again today, and I got my prediction right that this disjointed team is continuing to string on wins. And yeah, Don, your initial reactions. It was the
I
hard
just have
show.
I just have one thing to say.
Yeah.
We spoke about it briefly last time Gujarat played Hyderabad and lost. So the first four games that the Gujarat Lions played, they had win. Their first five games that they played, they had win, 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 loss, win. And then the first five games that Titans played, they had win, win, win,
You're
loss,
checking
win.
my Twitter, huh?
They win, 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 loss, win.
You're
The
checking my Twitter.
the fourth, it was your Twitter. I don't. You
No, I
write that.
retweeted it. I
Oh,
retweeted
you
it.
retweeted it? I don't.
Yeah.
I think I saw the person who put it
Yeah.
out there. But the fourth game was Sunrisers. The loss was against Sunrisers Hyderabad. That was in 2016. Sunrisers Hyderabad ended up winning that year. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, but realistically speaking, I think it was a good performance again by Gujarat. I think. As much as we can criticize them about being a disjointed team and everything, as long as a few players step up, it doesn't matter how disjointed they are. We've always spoken about how good their bowling attack is, and that came to the party again today. Their batting, we have said it's susceptible, but when you have someone like a Hardik Pandya show, and then the likes of Abhinav Manohar and David Miller today stepping up and giving that kind of support that Hardik needed. Uh, that's all you really need. When one person's going, like Gill was going early part of the tournament, you just needed support, and that's what he got. And even today, Hardik was going, he got support. That's all matters. I think beautiful execution of the plans. I think they went out there, scored the 190 that was needed, then come in bowling. Good lines and lengths. They didn't get stirred away by the fact that Jossie was going absolute berserk. They still went out there. When they got his wicket, they were in the game. They continued playing good cricket. Ended up winning quite convincingly in the end.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, it was the Hardik Pandya show, man, with the bat, with the ball in the field,
Absolutely,
the run out
absolutely.
as well. Yeah, he was just leading from the front, and it was good to see him a bit more common. I think his tactics are also really good as a captain. He's got it spot on. He's given them freedom in terms of roles and everything, and not to like very flexible in that sense. And yeah, he's doing a fine job. That innings, 87 or 52, very aggressive from the start, and
Get go. Yep.
he didn't let up. It was the intent was there from the first ball.
Absolutely, I think he was fantastic throughout. All through the 40 overs of the game, I think he was extremely good with the bat, with the ball in the field, with his captaincy. We were talking about this with Shreyas Iyer earlier. In the discussion of KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant being the next India captain. Shreyas Iyer is knocking the door. I don't think Hardik Pandya is far behind. With the way he started off the first, it's too early. Obviously, there's no. I'm not making any claims. I'm not making any stakes over here, but it's too early. But with him, if he can control a few things that he's doing a little bit offhand, I think overall, I think he's shown real maturity in the captainship. He's really taking that challenge, and he's like rising above it. It almost feels like a like a match made in heaven for him and captaincy. Kind of, they kind of go well hand in hand. So it's beautiful to see that there is another person. These are all Indian players, and he's giving selectors a headache. And we also have to say, you have to think, we when Hardik was injured for the past year and a half, a lot of people, we tried a lot of things, but not anything was like very strong. And we found like an able replacement, Venkatesh Iyer, Shankar, Vijay Shankar, some bowling options, Krunal. We've tried all bunch of things, but nothing has really clicked as much when Hardik Pandya is at full flow, when he can bat like that and bowl like that and feel like that. I don't think that we have an able replacement yet, so that's a big thing again.
Yeah, Punter Singh Hardik back in Indian team. That all depends on his fitness. He's fit. He's gonna play.
He's going to play. I think if he's fit, I think he's one of the starters along with Virat and Rohit. I think he'll be one of the starters in those lineup along with maybe Bumrah. These four are probably definite starters.
Yeah, that's where I think India just need to be a bit smart in terms of selection. Like, don't get too carried away with the IPL. But Hardik Pandya has proven also in the Indian team, so it's not
Absolutely. I
just
think I think I think
even
for Hardik Pandya, it's just it's not even it's a no show. I mean, it's definitely, if he can remain as fit as he is right now, he's one of the first players on that team sheet.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. And excellent contribution from Manohar and David Miller as well. Miller, Killer Miller, rolling back the years, those 2012, 13 years where David Miller used to smash it for Punjab. Yeah, he really brought that back today, and that was the exact impetus that they needed going into that second innings. The extra 20, 30 runs, quick fire, and it took the game kind of out of Rajasthan's hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a David Miller we know and love from the 2013, like you said, back in rolling back all those years. He has had a very, very poor 5, 6 seasons with the IPL. He's been selected, but he's barely played. Whenever he's played, he's really not come to the party. So it's good to see that, in a team that needs him more than he needs the team. I think the team needs him because you're going to get an extended run in this team because the team batting is a little susceptible. So you're going to get a run, but be able to repay that faith to the franchise is phenomenal, and I think that's what Miller ended up doing. So kudos to him.
Yeah, but interesting. We saw Hardik might have got a groin injury. If he misses out, then Rashid to captain. But who will perform like this for them? Don't worry. We didn't know about Gujarat. Someone will step up. Rahul Tivatia will step up. Somebody will step up. But in the presentation, he confirmed it was just cramp. He didn't mention any groin injury or anything. In the post-match, when he got the man of the match as well, he mentioned clearly that it was just cramp. He hasn't batted like this for a long time, right? The length of normally it comes in the last 4 or 5 overs and smashes it. So batting at number 4 requires a different fitness.
Absolutely, I think these are big.
I have to
these are hot conditions. You're talking about 40 plus degrees, and then like the amount of effort that it takes out of you, and for a all rounder like he is. I think it takes a lot on you, so it's fine for some cramping up, but Jesus has to improve on his. He can continue doing what he's doing, and he has. Hopefully, he continues to remain fit and play the 14 games plus the more if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, and interesting. What about Vijay Shankar? Why get him back when Sudarshan was performing for him?
That's a question that we'll have to ask the think tank at Gujarat. I think maybe they wanted to give him another chance. Sudarshan was a bit slow, I guess. The first game also, I think 27 or 23. I don't think they want a little bit more impetus over there. And then even in the second game, he didn't perform as well. So maybe just a little bit of that playing in their heads. They want that number 3 to be solidified a little bit. And Vijay Shankar has a couple of times shown that he's capable. Unfortunately, it's been far and few between. Hopefully he can change that round, but as of right now, I think that's the reason that they're trying to maybe bring back a little bit of experience with Vijay Shankar.
Yep, and from Rajasthan's point of view, especially with the bat, Butler caught fire. He was batting beautifully. Some of the shots were just brilliant to watch, but a bit they lost too many wickets, right? They're a bit too aggressive, maybe. Getting Ashwin one down, that was kind of a surprise as well. Trying different things, but it almost worked out. He hit Rashid Khan for a 6, but overall, their plan was trying to get the runs too quickly. If they just stayed there 20 overs, they probably would have had the game in the bag.
I think so. I think that they went a little too hammer and dongs too early. When Butler is going on song like that, bringing in an Ash at that time was not the smartest thing to do. I think if they would have lost 2 quick wickets to just push the impetus, I think that would have made more sense. But Butler is going crazy. You don't need from the other end also to go mad, to go like all berserk. When Butler is in that kind of form, you just need to support him, give him the singles and doubles, and just continue giving him the strike. So that's my thing. I think that's when the problem is that I think Rajasthan overthinks situations sometimes. We've seen that in the past as well. And this was one of those situations that was not needed. It's a good thing to try different things, but when it doesn't work out, it looks poor. And today it looks poor, But trying Ashwin when you have a Sanju Samson who's in decent form, to come in, and Sanju can take his time to settle down because Butler is going at the other end. He's going absolute berserk at the other end. All you needed to just support him at that time. If they wouldn't have lost that wicket, who knows? Maybe Butler would have continued that kind of form, and that would have been an easy chase for them if Butler continued for about 30-40 more runs. Also, I think that was an easy chase for them. I think there's every regular interval losing wickets was not ideal, and then that's kind of how it unfortunately plays out.
With Mumbai as well yesterday, and then when the tail is exposed.
Yeah, and an important time was.
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
We're echoing.
Yeah, we are
echoing.
Vinay, I'll have to get
it. But
Yeah, he's echoing.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
When I say you can hear me right now, you're echoing like so. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I have no issues on getting you. Yeah,
but that's kind of how it is. Like, that run out also yesterday, important run outs for Mumbai today. Again, Sanju, when he got run out, I think changed the game in the favor of Gujarat over there. So unfortunate, but I think Rajasthan just have to stick to the basics a little bit more, and I think they still have a good team. Hopefully Bolt is not out for too long. Hopefully it's just a niggle and it's just like a game or two and he can come back, because without Bolt, I think this team looks a little bit short of options, especially in the bowling department.
yep. Van not performing. How about trying out Daryl Mitchell?
It's a good shout. It's a good shout, but I think Van has just gotten 2 games. I think you want to give a player about 3-4, before you take that chance. Maybe it's unfortunate because Jimmy Neesham has really not found a club that trusts him fully. It's unfortunate they haven't given him a full length of games. So maybe a Daryl Mitchell instead of a Jimmy Neesham is an option, because Mitchell will give you overs with the ball as well. The problem is that after the top five, I think it's a problem that we've spoken about the Riyan Parag being an issue. They've tried Ashwin at 7 and stuff like that. It really hasn't worked out. Riyan Parag again today, he had an opportunity to go to get some runs under his belt, but he did not succeed, unfortunately. So that is the only problem with this Rajasthan side, and they have to figure out what they want to do about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for you, the player of the game, of course, I
That's
think
an
it's
easy one.
yeah,
Hardik Pandya.
we're
Yeah.
not gonna think twice with that. But yeah, it's good. I think this Gujarat team, they've got their. I wouldn't say they have their bases covered, but they know how to win now. And
They know how to win. The only
and
thing I have one question. I have one, I guess, criticism about them is that their Instagram and Twitter handles are taking it a little too far. I don't think anyone called them the 19.
that's how you do it. That's how
I
you
don't,
do
I
it.
don't think anyone called them the
I like
1983
that.
World Cup chance, gave them no chance at all. I think every team has weaknesses, but there was, we were talking about a little bit batting susceptibility, but we always called it a very, very good bowling side.
Yeah.
We always said that this is a good team if the personnel performs, and that's kind of how it is. I think it's a little bit unfair to call them the 1983 World Cup side. That was a completely different complexion.
Yeah, and Don Punter is taking this man of the match thing to another extreme. Look, what is
It's
that, man? What is that, bro?
Punter.
What sense? Hardik Pandya with the bat, with the ball, and in the field, run out.
I think Punter doesn't understand the importance, the meaning of man of the match. Man of the match is usually makes your team win. He never picks the team for winning team, always losing team set. Since he's not on live, I can tell him that. We'll fight about it later.
It's just a different perspective and an argument to make, but I just don't get it at times. Like today, I don't get it at all. You have one guy who's captaining the side and like performing in all areas. Yeah, he gets man of the matchup. Abu Bakr is in the house saying fluke team hai bole Don bhai.
है सो बात है अभी भी I am still saying fluke team है अभी भी बोल रहा हूँ मैं fluke team है.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, we can't compare this Gujarat to the other Gujarat, but I'm just looking at that that franchise as well. They got off to a fly, and they actually had a pretty good team as well. I think Jadeja, Finch,
Suresh
Raina,
Raina.
all these guys were there, and I think they were very consistent. And then in the playoffs, they just melt down. It was
We've spoken about this, right? The teams like that start off so well. I think they peak early, and that's when the problem happens. I think Gujarat could face that. I think the problem with Gujarat and Rajasthan also. The Rajasthan have lost a couple now, but it's a longer tournament. Things will change. Things will be different. They'll probably play different. With the broken up team A, Group A, Group B, you play more games against a certain opponent versus a different opponent. You play only once. So there are those things. I'm not saying Gujarat is a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that they have problems, and those can be found wanting, like the Hyderabad is found.
And what's going for them is that their big players are all performing. Whether it's Ferguson, Rashid, Shami, okay, he's expensive, but he also picks up wickets. And Hardik Pandya. So
and Gill.
And Gill as well. So you have 4 or 5 players that you depended on, and they're delivering, one or the other is delivering every game with a very stellar performance. So whether it was Gill and Tewatia in that last game against Punjab, the second last game against Punjab, and then or today Hardik Pandya, they're giving you those match-winning performances. It's not just 20 of 10. Today Butler for was a 50 of thing. Pandya converted that into an 80. So that's what they're giving you, and
the good thing is also they're getting good support from the likes of Abhinav Manohar, David Miller today. The supporting players are also chipping in. So that's why this team is performing. And I still think that this is a team that has susceptibility. Fluke is probably is an unfair word, but I think there are big holes in this team that can be found wanting eventually as the games go on. A lot more data to work with, a lot more players. Everyone has played them. They understand how they are thinking, and those things will start coming into the picture. And that's when I think that Gujarat might find it a little difficult. They might lose a few games here and there because it's a very long tournament. They started off beautifully, but still 9 more games go for them to make the playoffs. I still think they might make the playoffs because of their start, but they might lose that steam towards the end of the regular season.
Yeah, valid point. Let's see how it goes. For now, though, they're on a roll, and Hardik
Absolutely.
Pandya is at the wheel. That's what's
As
happening.
at the wheel, and doing fantastically well.
Yeah, Matthew Hayden said something crazy. He's like, he'll drive the bus home, and if there's a flat tire, he'll fix that as well. He got tired today.
You never know; he might just do that.
And
In
that's
the
why I
form
keep
he is.
picking them in my predictions. They're a fun team, man. This Gujarat. They
Anything
have a
he's
lot of
touching, he's touching, he's turning into gold right now.
Yeah. And just a quick 2-3 comments I'll take before we move on to the next topic. Vin is asking, should Gurbaz come in for Wade? I think we had this discussion.
We spoke about it last time. I think it's a high time now. 5 games, I think you've given him enough time.
Yep. Abu Bakr saying, why did Rajasthan send Ashwin Baigan and Punter Singh to make Bharta?
I think
Rashid 6 in Sunrisers. I don't think Ashwin Rashid ever got hit by Ashwin or anyone like that.
Yeah, but I still think that there's just thinking too much. Overthinking the situation. You have a Sanju Samson.
This always happens when Ashwin is in the team. Overthinking.
It happened in Punjab. Yeah. I think with Delhi though, I think because of the fact that he had alphas in Ricky Ponting, he was not able to maybe put it out so openly. But here again, he has that option.
Do you think it was a case of him telling the Sangakkara that, listen, you retired me in the last game, now you have to give me promotion in this game?
I doubt that's the case. So honestly, Ashwin apparently said that he was the one who made that decision. He came out and said it.
That's what I'm saying. These weird things happen with him only.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But he is that he's that thinking cricketer. Sometimes it can be overthinking, but you have to give him the credit. He sometimes pulls off rabbit out of the hat, and it could. If imagine if he would have just scored like, let's say, a 20 of 8 instead of an 8 of 8. That would have changed the perception of the game.
Yeah, and I think because he handled spin a bit well, that's why they wanted him to do that. Ashwin is always overthinking. Recently watched his interview about bowling bad balls to Virendra Sehwag and getting him out. Yeah, there was an interview as well. I think it was a written interview with Cricket for that about the last couple of years and everything. And yeah,
look, I'm a big fan of Ashwin. You know how much I love Ashwin. I think Ashwin is he's unfortunately not given as much credit when it comes to the good things that he's done, and his bad things unfortunately get highlighted. But sometimes it doesn't come off, and you just have to accept it. Today was one of those days.
100%. And Don, tomorrow's game is Sunrisers Hyderabad versus the Kolkata Knight Riders.
I promise to have a good haircut irrespective of the result.
How are you looking at this game? KKR started off really well. They've lost a couple of games as well, if I'm not mistaken. But Shreyas Iyer has done a good job as captain. Again, they have power players. They need them to fire. If they don't fire, they struggle a bit.
I think that's almost every team right now. For Mumbai, the power players are not stepping up. That's why they're losing. Every single team has that kind of a situation.
But you have like Punjab yesterday. Their power hitters didn't really step up, but it was their opening batsman, and Jitesh Sharma also coming in. So it's something that they might have to look at, KKR, because especially the top 3, Venkatesh Iyer, Rahane, Shreyas Iyer, it was KKR's top 3 which was getting them the runs that led them into that finals last season. So I think that's something that they'll have to look at. You can't depend on Russell and Cummins to save you every single game.
Yeah, but I think the problem is that the team is not, like, the players that they have in the top few are not in form. Like Venkatesh Iyer was going absolutely crazy. He was going like every game he was hitting like 50s and 60s, and today this season he's not found that form. Ajinkya started off well, but I think he's not the ideal T20 player. Unfortunately, he takes a little bit time to settle down and everything. Shreyas Iyer, I think he tries a little too hard, and the short ball is a problem. Nitish Rana, who was giving you runs in the earlier part of the season, the previous seasons, is not giving you runs. So suddenly you bring your top 4-5 are trouble. Then you're stuck with Sam Billings and Russell and Cummins to give you the runs at 5, 6, and 7, which is a problem.
I would love to be stuck with them. But
if you lose that wickets, though,
even if one like a Shreyas Iyer steps up, this team
that's all you need. That's all you need. Right? Absolutely. That's all you need. I think this is a very, very good side. they need the top four, one player from the top four to take a little bit more responsibility. They have a very good bowling side as well. Varun Chakravarti, they have Narayan, they have Cummins. They have good bowling. Umesh Yadav has been performing very, very well. So they have their bases pretty well covered. I think this is a very solid side in my opinion. But I think that they need someone from the top four to get going. If they can have that, they're a solid team.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a risk and it's T20 cricket, not Test cricket, but I would love to see Kane Williamson give Marco Jansen and Umran Malik the ball when Ayer walks in, put a short leg there and just pepper him.
Yeah.
Put a full leg side field and pepper him with bouncers and see if he attacks it, he attacks it. He doesn't attack it, he doesn't attack it. Just it could be a risk as well because they have pace and he can use the pace, but he struggled with that. So I think that's something that Sunrisers should try to exploit.
Absolutely, I think they'll have plans out for each and every player. But this is a very good shout out. I mean, that's what you need. If you can get one of the top two early, and if you can get Shreyas in quickly and get him out fast, a couple of quick wickets in the power play. Suddenly, everyone's starting to think of these things and stuff like that. 4 out of 4 tosses for Kane. That he's bowled all 4 games.
Yeah,
so
they
haven't batted first. That's going to be an important test for them.
Yep. Punter Singh, tomorrow, SRH versus KKR, no Washington. Who are you playing?
Yeah, that's a big blow for, I think, Sunrisers. It's a blow hard enough to consider them like that winning-losing combination, creating that difference between a winning-losing, because I think Washington with the ball has been phenomenal.
Yeah, he's
been so economical, and he's been become wickets. I think 5-6 wickets, I think, already in 4 games, which is pretty good. So that's the problem. I mentioned this last time also. I think Sunrisers have gone and tried to pluck all the gaps with decent players in every position. The only problem they've had with this is a replacement for Washington. With due respect to Suchit and Gopal, I think they are not at the level that Washington is, and that's going to be the problem. I consider playing Gopal because I want to try a leg spinner. And just, because as the tournament wears on, I think you might need another extra spinner coming into your team as well. So I think just give Gopal this 1 or 2 games to just kind of, feel his way into this team. And when the time comes in the last 5-6 games, he can be a more regular player for the team.
And you might see Markram and Abhishek Sharma also roll their
arm a little bit, for sure.
I think they might have to split the spinners overs. They might not be able to bank on one spinner.
I think Markram in the power play for an over or 2 if needed, and then Gopal in the middle for a few overs is the way to go, I guess.
Yeah, and also Sunrisers, the batting approach, I mean, it's worked 2 out of 4
far.
Games, and the other 2 games it didn't work, but, a slow start in the power play, very completely different to what other teams are doing or anybody does in T20 cricket, trying to, I don't know what it is, whether it's Williamson just trying to get his feet in, but even, Abhishek Sharma hasn't gone from ball 1. So do you think that approach will change in the power play, or would you like to see the same?
I think if they are chasing a 200 score, or if they are batting first, that approach has to change, because it's going to be difficult to go that route again. But I think if they are scoring, they're playing that 150, 160 margin again, that it's good to have those 2-3 overs settle in, get your players, get Abhishek into the game. When he gets into the game, we've seen that he's destructive, and so is Kane. So kind of give them that liberty of taking the time to settle in, and then just upping the strike rate from over there, which is not a bad ploy. But I think if they're chasing 200, or if they're batting first, that will have to change, I think.
Yeah, Punter is asking any update on Rahul Tripathi, Kalin Bhaiya, very important for Sunrisers.
It's only cramps, he's ready to play tomorrow.
He was batting in the nets. I saw a video today. He was there in the nets, played a few shots. He was speaking to Moody as well. So I saw a few clips. You can check it out on Sunrisers Instagram channel on their story. He's there. He's in the nets. And it was good to see Brian Lara also involved. Nicholas Pooran mentioned that in the last game, that he's having an influence on this team. It's a young team. They're going to learn. They will make mistakes. But it's good to see them, a couple of wins in the bag. Some players getting confidence. And it's a good platform, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They have 2 big games. I think if they can get one out of 2 victories, I think they're on song to how the teams are performing at this point in time. People wrote them off very quickly. I think that is not the way. That's not the case for Sunrisers. I think they have a little bit more in the tank than people give them credit for.
Vin is asking, what about Alia?
Oh, the wedding went off well, mashallah. Congratulations to the couple. Hopefully they can enjoy their life together. घर पे कर लिए, पैसे बचा लिए शादी करने के उसमें भी, तो it's good for them.
Don has all the latest updates. Yeah, he has 3-4 guys there outside the house
वो
clicking.
अपने boys वहाँ पे है. I'm catching the next flight for the reception, bro.
Down the track is expanding its wings from cricket to Bollywood. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, congratulations to the happy couple. But yeah, Don, anything else you want to mention about this game? Looking at tomorrow.
I'm just looking forward to it. I mean, for me, I think the way things have panned out in my sporting life, I think the last year 2 years have been so painful with Sunrisers and Arsenal being really poor. But I think I'm seeing some hope with Arsenal. I'm still a little worried now because they've gotten in the back foot. But I think with Sunrisers also in the past 2 games, they've shown us some good cricket, which is exciting to see. So I'm excited to see them tomorrow. So excited to see them play tomorrow. Hopefully, it's just a good game. I just don't want us to be brushed away. I just want us to perform, compete. If it's a close game, we lose. Fair enough. Shout out to the other side. But hopefully, we can end up on the winning side, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it also just depends on what kind of Andy Russell and Cummins pitch up.
Hopefully, the kind that doesn't show up.
I would just say against KKR, they'll Sunrisers can't let the gas,
foot off the pedal. Absolutely,
they have to continue because someone will get you otherwise, right? They just have to keep that pressure on, pile on the pressure, and not relax. KKR is that kind of team; they'll blow hot and cold. You can beat them, but on their day, they'll beat you. So
Umran Malik has to tighten his length as soon as possible and learn to bowl a slower one. It's very important, I think, because he has all the capabilities. Luckily, he has a Dale Steyn to help him out, but he has to start learning quickly.
Player to watch out for?
Umran Malik. If he can get going, I think he has the capability of picking up those 2-3 quick wickets and just turning the tables on the opposition side.
Yeah, KKR, I'm gonna go like Rana or Shreyas Iyer. I just feel that one of them, if they provide that platform, then they have that low order to finish it off. And in terms of Sunrisers, I'll go. It's a tough one, but let's go Marco Jansen.
He started off his career with Sunrisers very, very well. He's keeping Romario, who's a higher paid player, out of the team right now. So that's a good shout.
Yeah, and also, man, Nicholas Puran, when he hits those sixes, is so good to watch.
He's just so beautiful to see. A lot of people are talking that we spent 10.75 CR on him, and it's a lot of money and stuff like that.
It is.
Absolutely, I agree. But if he can give you performances like he gave you in the last game, then you're making your money's worth, right?
Yeah, and he's still, what is he, 26? He's reaching his primes another couple of years probably. And I think the responsibility showed in the last game, those are good signs. Now it's about taking it to the next level, and let's see how it goes. When he hit those sixes, I'm like, wow, man, those were good to watch.
He's gonna come up against more difficult situations.
Yes,
now he's just coming to finish the 30 of 20. He might be in a situation where he's going like 29 for 4, and he has to come in and score that 170, 180 for. That's when his real metal will be shown.
Yeah, how he's going to plan that counter attack. Vinay Singh, what about Odin?
I mean, he performed well in yesterday's game, so redemption in some ways, but I still think that Odin Smith is a player that will struggle in Indian pitches, especially as the pitches wear down. He relies a little bit on the bounce, and the bounce will not be as much as it is right now.
Vinay's asking random questions.
Yeah, I think Vinay needs to get some sleep. I think it's a little late at night over there in India for him, so Vinay should get some sleep. But redemption for sure, but still some work to do for Odin.
Punjab curse ? He's asking.
Punjab curse is not working right now. They have 3 games in 3 and 5. That's not too bad.
That's not too bad, yeah. And they're an exciting team to watch. We'll give them that. But yeah, I think, Don, thank you so much for joining me. And you have any last questions for me or anything you want to add?
No, I'm not. Just what is your prediction for tomorrow?
Predictions over Sunrisers, man. It doesn't
but
change.
What is like? I need like a more specific prediction.
You want a specific? Where is the game? In
DY Patil, if I'm not wrong.
In DY Patil. So, that's not going to change my prediction. I'm going to go Sunrisers to bat first. Nicholas Puran to score 90 of 40 deliveries. And make 215. And then last ball, 7 required. 6 from Andre Russell goes to super over. And then Marco Jansen picks up 2 wickets for 5 runs. And Sunrisers finish it off.
In 6 first ball, 6 by Nicholas Puran.
Yeah.
Wow, something like that happens. I will become bald.
You've seen a super over in the stadium, right? Was it the Sunrise RCB game back in the day, 2013, when Gale and stuff were in Bangalore? You were there when Stain
I
was
was
in
there.
Sunrisers.
Yeah. I was there. That was an intense time.
All right, man. Don, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining me. I will catch you after tomorrow's game and enjoy the game. Hopefully, it's a good game and hopefully the result goes for us as well. If not, we'll still catch you tomorrow.
Of course. Looking forward to it, man. Take care.